Thanks,
Never gets
Craig.
old. Yo, word. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Greg. All right. So today's question, the title is this is actually a really common question I see. How hands-on is mechanical engineering in most jobs? And this
Hmm.
guy expands, I want to major in mechanical engineering in college, but want to know how the future job market looks like. I know for sure I want to do engineering and maybe CS. So how does Mech E look like in the future and what engineering jobs are underlooked but are prospective and the future?
Hmm.
Okay, now on to the actual question. Well, why didn't you just start with that? Whenever I picture mechanical engineers, I always imagine a bunch of people sitting on the ground working on a robot or device while someone
Hmm.
else is coding on a computer to see real-time changes in the robot. I know that this is far from the truth and that engineers work on building the machine in 3D while others build and test the robot. However, are there any specializations in mechanical engineering that at least somewhat looks like what I imagined? How hands-on are mechie jobs? All right, let me get some water. Oh man.
What a great question. This is a question I think I had personally. There's so many people still have. And it's similar to the answer is similar to what we talked about before. It's broad. It says it depends on the line of work you get into. As a mech, you can work in you can get a job and career path in multiple fields. You can what he described working with robots and like designing them physically is like there are jobs like that. Obviously, although he is right, a lot of it is now done in 3D in computers. Before you, the hands-on part is much more limited, even for like design jobs. But yeah, a lot of the jobs are hands-on, but you can also get jobs in supply chain, for example, or I don't even know, energy sustainability, um, uh, safety. Those type of jobs may not be as hands-on
Or
as
even like sales too, like
even
just selling the
sales.
actual
So
product.
true. Yeah, there's like I know we mentioned this before. It's such a broad starting off point. It builds such a good foundation that you can kind of go into bunch of a bunch of career paths. So it does depend. I would say maybe 65%, maybe even 70% of the Mickey jobs would be some hands-on. It's not like you're going to be hands-on the whole time, but it will include hands-on roles. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. And if this guy wanted to be like super hands-on, would he kind of focus more on like research and development
Not
aspect of
necessarily.
stuff or
No, not. I mean, if obviously if he's into research and design, he can get into it. But testing is a huge thing.
got it?
What we call like first installs. So when they make a machine, when they make an equipment, this is something that I'm involved in, where they'll come and do a first install. And so you go out in the field and they will bring the equipment. They'll do everything, and you're kind of there to make sure it meets design specs. Everything is done by not only the or what they call the OEM, the operating instruction, but also the jurisdictional codes. So every jurisdiction, New York City, New York State, Jersey, whatever, every state city has their own safety laws and safety codes, etc., etc. So, and based on all of that, you can be part of you can be hands-on in that case. Some people are also in that field. Some people are also behind the scenes. So a lot of city jobs involve like you looking at a lot of diagrams, making sure they're all meet engineering safety code, and you just sign off. And that signature, and there's like a joke in our field, like that signature is worth the six-figure salary that you receive. It's crazy because, and obviously a lot of depending on what you work in, Uh, I would say a lot of it is safety based. So you need to be serious about it. So those signatures, the things you sign off on can be can carry weight. So you have to be they're pretty serious jobs. So no, not necessarily you don't have to be in research or design per se. So if
Got
you
it.
look at even if you think about it as like the steps to creating a given machine, right? So you look at you think about what you want to make, you design it, you maybe look at materials, you see which materials are best. Then you think about what how to design it. Put 3D model it if needed, or you put it in CAD, build
Mm,
it. You source the suppliers, blah blah blah. Then you bring it in, you build it. Then you go into sales, like you mentioned. You sell it to potential clients, and then you go and then the client needs to install it, and the client most likely doesn't know how to install it, so that involves engineering as well. Go in, and then that after the install there's testing, there's test after the testing there can be maintenance, sustainability concerns about it as well. So you might even come back 6 months, a year after the install as well. So all of that steps could have a mechie involvement, and not all of them are hands-on.